All right, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Jalen. Right now I'm just getting out of some good old LA traffic. Real quick, I actually wanted to talk about how I got into tech so quickly, but it was not quick at all. Especially compared to a lot of the stories that I've heard. So I was doing Uber Eats while I was actually doing CourseCareers. Sorry. Just to make some extra money while I was trying to complete the program and everything. And even before I even heard about the program, I was already doing Uber Eats, just, I guess you could say, just trying to figure out my next move. I wasn't really sure what that was going to be. I'm actually doing Uber Eats right now, even though I technically broke into tech and have a job, but the grind doesn't stop, man. That's just the Detroit hustle in me. So hopefully that can translate into me being into tech and having to make all those cold calls and everything. So going into the program, I was already pretty much aware that it was self-paced. So I'm like, okay, well, whenever I'm done with, doing Uber Eats, either before or after, I'm done for the day, I'll just come home and, finish out the program. And what really sparked the idea of me just going ahead and applying to jobs was, I think, I just was doing my research, and you see everyone talk about how difficult it can be to break into tech, just right off rip. So I'm just like, well, what if I just went ahead and got a head start on it anyway, right? So I'm just like, okay, let me just see what the process will feel like as I'm applying to these different roles, and even in the course, they do give you like some pointers on how to apply to these different tech companies, what the tech companies are looking for, how to update your resume, how to present yourself in an interview. I was even, doing my own little research. I was, doing whatever YouTube search or Google search, anything I could get my hands on to see what it takes to actually break into tech. Because I didn't really give myself like a deadline on when I was going to complete the program. I mean, I would like to have completed it in like a timely manner, because I want, basically my situation to change, and we all kind of get in our own head about when we want it to change. 1 second, because actually, they got it. They found it. They got the parking spot. Fuck. Yeah, you gotta fight for your parking spot out here, man. Damn. So yeah, went ahead and I just took initiative into applying to different jobs, and it was a lot of rejections. I've applied to there are like a lot of hundreds of thousands of tech companies out here. I didn't know how many tech companies there were. Maybe not hundreds of thousands, but definitely thousands. But there are a lot of tech companies out here, and I felt like I was applying to every single one, because I was going on like just different websites that I've heard about. Once you get like into the once you get in the motion of it, you start getting recommended like different tech companies. I'm trying to think of some of the websites that I was on. There's something on called Bravado that was pretty helpful. Always hired. So these are other like things kind of similar to CourseCareers, but they pretty much like bridge the gap between like people like me, people like us who are looking for jobs, and the tech companies themselves. So they pretty much bridge the gap. I'm trying to think. There was also a website with like smaller tech companies. I'm trying to think of it right now. What was it? when I think of it, I can probably tell you guys later or whatever. But yeah, so I was just like, man, I was hustling, trying to like, because I knew it was like, this isn't the only option. So I know there are other options. And again, CourseCareers does like have partners and tech companies that they do partner with to get their students jobs. But I was like, man, I'm gonna get in one way or another, you know? So, oh, I just got lucky. Look at that. Look at that blessing right there. You know, I did start to actually hear back from some folks, you know, who wanted to hire me and all of that. So, you know, you would get those emails and, you know, you get excited. And, you know, as you're going through like the interview process, you know, for whatever reason, I personally felt like I was doing pretty well in most of my interviews, actually. You know, like, that's another thing. You want to study up on how to interview with these companies and all that, because they do ask you specific questions, and you want to be ready for those questions. And the more interviews that you do, like, the easier the process will just become. The easier the process will just be. So I wasn't really tripping about my performance in these interviews. I pretty much understood what helped me really like keep going, man, is I pretty much understood was sometimes it's not you. Like, a lot of the time it's like things that's like out of your hands, you know, like it's a lot of things that's just like out of your control. It might have been another candidate that they just decided to want to, you know, go in a direction with. They might have just like stopped hiring out of nowhere for whatever reason. You know, or whatever. They might have just like, you know, changed their mind, whatever the case may be. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you did anything wrong. You know, especially the more reps that you get in with these interviews, you pretty much are like an interview expert at this point. So, I finally parked. Finally. I don't even know where I left off at. It took about like maybe like few weeks to maybe less than a month of me actually starting to take that initiative and going ahead and just, you know, start applying to jobs and whatever. My strategy, I didn't really have much of one. Of course, I used LinkedIn to search a lot of jobs. I even went on a couple of dummy missions, man, and went on like Indeed. And I remember there was this one job posting of a solar company who was hiring for salespeople. Of course, things like that, they don't really be totally honest about what the job entails specifically. So I showed up at like this interview that had like maybe 3 to 4 other people. We all sat in the room, and, you know, they were just, this one guy was just going basically over like what the job is about, you know, what the company is about. But I started to put 2 and 2 together, like, okay, this isn't something that I am interested in, but I didn't want to just like get up and leave, right? So I stayed there just for the entertainment. But I pretty much put 2 and 2 together. I don't know if like other people in there did or not, but basically it was a door-to-door job, and I've been there, done that, and I did not, you know, go through this training program to just sell solar door to door with a low minimum wage, you know. So I'm okay. I'm straight. Thanks, but no thanks. I don't even think it was minimum wage. I think it was just strictly commission. So whatever. So yeah, it was probably like a few weeks to a month when I decided to go ahead and start applying to jobs. Like I said, I used LinkedIn, Indeed, other resources that I have came across as well. And actually, the job that hired me, actually the recruiter reached out to me. God be the glory. I was actually excited because when I looked at their Indeed or looked at their LinkedIn and their website, I'm like, oh, this is interesting. You know, like I haven't seen something like this that's out there. It's a free product. It's like, I mean, it should be easy to, you know, give to people. If you can convince them, which is what we're trained to do, if you can convince them that they need this product in order to help their business and all of that, I'm like, oh man. And it's like kind of intriguing. You know, it's what I'm kind of interested in already, you know. So what my company sells is basically a streaming service. So think about like your Netflix, your Hulus, your Stars or whatever. But it's actually like an audio option streaming service, and it also plays like short videos, entertaining videos. So think of like America's Funniest Home Videos, short version. Think of like TikTok. They literally put like TikTok on your screen in your business to keep customers there, to keep them engaged, and to want to continue to spend money at your business. You know, so customers, the longer they stay, the more money they pay, right? At least that's what they say. I just came up with that. You know, I'm also a rapper if you didn't know. So I need to actually put that in my LinkedIn description as well. No, but so yeah, man, I would say like I went through like hundreds of applications, hundreds of no's. You got to be strong-willed. That's like your first test when you are out here. That's like your first test. All those rejections and objections as an SDR, as an AE, that's like your first test to getting over those barriers, right? Is overcoming all of those no's just to get to that one yes, man. That one yes is going to make up for those hundreds of no's. I promise you, you know. So it's a lot of people out here who you can be inspired by if you're still like trying to figure out what can you do differently. Keep doing you. I'm gonna say that. A lot of people want to say, do this to your resume, adjust the way you answer these questions. Be yourself. After a while, bro, like I was just having conversations with recruiters. My attitude going in after a minute, after I gained, because once you gain like the confidence, you pretty much just go in here like, okay, what can you do for me? You know, because I know that this is a two-way street. I have a skill set. You're looking to hire people who are good at what they do. I feel like I can do that. I feel like I can provide that. Convince me to want to be a part of this team. Convince me that you guys want me, you know. So ask the recruiter questions, ask the company questions about you know, how you feel like you could be a good fit. Ask them anything, because it is like you're literally going on a date with these people, right? You're just getting to know each other. So look at it like that. Like this is a two-way street. Like don't feel any pressure like, oh, what if I mess up, or whatever the case may be. No, don't look at it like that. Look at it like, what can they offer me to convince me to want to bring them money? You know, like what do I like about this company? So yeah, that's all I have for this video, man. If you're still in the process of interviewing, it's only a matter of time. You know, it's only a matter of time. Trust me, I've been there. And I'm gonna say this, even after I got the job, right, I was still interviewing. I'm still weighing out my options, because this is what recruiters do too. They could tell you that, you know, they could give you the verbal agreement and say never mind, just like that, you know, just like that, and not even flinch. You know, it's all, so you got to play the game. Like, of course, you know, I was still interviewing, I was still applying to different jobs, even if I want to weigh out my options, and I felt like I went with the best option at the end of the day. So that's all I got for this video, man. It might be a little bit long, but hey, make sure you guys like, comment, share this video to help others. We out. Boom.